heard my mom whisper my name from the kitchen at 2:13 in the morning. The problem was, my mom had been dead for 8 years. At first, I thought I was dreaming. I was half asleep, staring at the ceiling, trying to ignore the sound of rain hitting my bedroom window. Then I heard it again. "Ethan?" Soft, calm, exactly like her voice. Not close, not far away either. Right downstairs. Every hair on my arm stood up instantly. I froze in bed, listening. The house went silent again. I told myself there had to be another explanation. Maybe the TV downstairs turned on by itself. Maybe the storm outside distorted some sound from the neighbors. But deep down, I already knew it was her voice. I sat up slowly and checked my phone. 2:13 a.m. The same time my mom died. I wish I could say I stayed in my room. I didn't. I grabbed my phone flashlight and stepped into the hallway. The upstairs felt colder than usual. The air almost hurt to breathe. The staircase creaked beneath my feet. As I walked down, everything looked normal at first. The front door was locked. The living room was empty. The kitchen lights were off. But something smelled strange. Fresh coffee. My mom used to make coffee every night before bed. Strong coffee. The smell filled the house when I was a kid. I hadn't smelled that scent since the week she died. I stood in the dark kitchen, barely breathing. Then I noticed it. One chair was pulled out from the dining table. Slowly, like someone had just stood up. My stomach tightened. I whispered, "Hello?" No answer. But I heard a tiny sound upstairs. A footstep. I turned so fast my flashlight almost slipped from my hand. Another step. Slow, dragging, coming from the hallway above me. I knew I was alone in the house. I lived alone. I hadn't invited anyone over in weeks. But something was upstairs. I should have left right then. Instead, I started walking back toward the stairs. Each step felt heavier than the last. And half. Way up. I heard breathing. Not mine. Someone else's. Close. Right behind me. I spun around. Nothing. Just darkness below. But the breathing stopped the exact second I turned around. That's when I realized something worse. The smell of coffee was stronger upstairs now. Impossible. I forced myself to keep moving. The hallway looked darker than before, even with my flashlight on. Shadows stretched across the walls in weird shapes. Then I saw my bedroom door. It was open. I always sleep with it closed. Always. My chest started pounding. I walked toward it carefully. And then I heard her voice again. Inside my room. "Honey, I stopped dead." That word. She used to call me that constantly when I was little. Nobody else did. Nobody. I could barely breathe now. My flashlight shook violently in my hand as I stepped closer to the doorway, and then I saw someone sitting on my bed. Just a silhouette. A woman. Still. Waiting. The light from the hallway barely touches. At her face. But I could already tell who it looked like. My mom. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move. The figure slowly tilted its head toward me and smiled. Something was wrong with the smile. Too wide, too stretched, like someone pretending to be human. My flashlight flickered once, and suddenly the figure was gone. The bed was empty. I stumbled backward, almost falling. Then I heard movement inside the closet. A quiet scratching sound, slowly dragging across the wood from the inside. I stared at the closet door. The scratching stopped. Then came 3 soft knocks. "Knock, knock, knock," I whispered. "Mom?" Instantly, the closet door burst open. But nobody came out. Just darkness. Deep darkness. Deep darkness. Darker than the room itself. And from inside the closet, I heard crying. My mom crying. The exact same way she cried in the hospital before she died. I hadn't heard that sound in years, but I recognized it immediately. It broke something inside me. I walked toward the closet without thinking. The crying became louder, painful, desperate. Then her voice whispered from inside, "Help me." Tears filled my eyes, because for one stupid second, I believed it really was her. I stepped closer, closer, closer. And that's when I noticed the smell. Not coffee anymore. Rot. Something dead. Something old. My flashlight finally reached inside the closet. Clothes hanging. Boxes. Nothing else. But the crying continued. Except now, I realized something horrifying. The sound wasn't coming from inside the closet. It was coming from directly behind me. I turned slowly and saw her standing inches away. My mother, or something wearing her face. Her skin looked pale gray, wet. Her eyes were completely black. Thick veins crawled across her neck, like worms under her skin. But the worst part was her mouth, still smiling, too wide, too many teeth. She leaned close enough for me to feel her breath. Cold, rotting. Then she whispered,
"You left me there. I couldn't move."
My body locked completely. My mom had died in a hospital after a stroke. I was 17. I left the room for 5 minutes to get coffee from the vending machine. When I came back, she was gone. For years, I blamed myself. And somehow, this thing knew that. It kept smiling at me, while tears streamed down its face. "You heard me calling for you," it whispered. "No," I said, but my voice cracked. The thing tilted its head violently. Bones cracked inside its neck. Then it started mimicking her voice perfectly. "Ethan, don't leave me. Ethan, I'm scared. Ethan." The lights in my room suddenly shut off. Complete darkness swallowed everything. Then I felt hands grabbing my arms. Cold hands. Too many hands. Pulling me backward. I screamed and fought wildly, smashing into the wall. My flashlight hit the floor and rolled under the bed. In the darkness, I heard whispering all around me. Not one voice. Dozens. All sounding like my mother. Crying, begging, laughing. I crawled desperately toward the bedroom door, unable to see anything. Then, something grabbed my ankle. Hard. I kicked violently and felt fingers snap beneath my heel, but the grip didn't loosen. Instead, I got dragged backward across the floor, fast, straight toward the closet. I clawed at the carpet, screaming. The closet doors were open now, and inside, I could see movement, people standing in the darkness, tall shapes twisting unnaturally, watching me, waiting. My mother's voice echoed from inside them all at once. "Stay with me." I finally broke free and slammed the bedroom door behind me. I ran downstairs so fast I nearly broke my neck. I grabbed my car keys and rushed outside barefoot into the rain. I didn't stop driving until sunrise. I ended up sitting in a gas station parking lot 2 towns away, shaking uncontrollably. Part of me wanted to believe it was stress, grief, some kind of mental breakdown, until I checked my phone. I had 3 missed calls from my home number, all at 2:13 a.m. My blood turned to ice, because my house didn't even have a landline anymore. I sold the phone years ago, after my mom died. I stared at the missed calls for almost a minute before one more notification appeared. New voicemail. I didn't want to play it, but I did. At first, there was only static, then breathing, then my mother's voice. Weak, crying. "Ethan, why did you leave me here?" The message ended with a loud crackling noise, and one final sound. My bedroom closet door slowly creaking open.